As Crusader Kings 3 is still pretty early in development, I like to create these videos talking about features I'd love to see eventually added to the game. I have previously made 2 videos about this before, and will probably make more of these in the future. So if you have any other ideas, be sure to let me know in the comments, as a few of these ideas from this video are from you guys. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate that a lot, but the first addition I'd really like to see added to Crusader Kings 3 has kind of already been added slightly in Fate of Iberia, with the ability to pay gold to destabilize another realm. This lets you pay up to 200 gold to cause a random county in the chosen ruler's realm to suffer development loss, control growth, and a massive -100 popular opinion, hugely increasing the chances of a peasant uprising. And that's great, and to be honest, Fate of Iberia in general does get me really excited for the future of CK3, but that's a topic for another day, I'm sure. But this is just a feature I'd really like to be expanded even further. Let's say there's a faction in another kingdom and you would really benefit from this faction getting more powerful and forcing their demands. I just think it would be really fun if you could fund them with gold. So you could donate different amounts, similar to how the Foreman Revolts works now. And this lets the AI use this money to get mercenaries or even bribe other rulers to join their factions, although I think this should be a pretty expensive thing to do, and maybe also even locked behind a perk in diplomacy or intrigue, so it's not too easy to do. And you may already be aware, but there is an event in the game where another ruler will come to you and basically tell you how someone is plotting against you. And I'd love to be able to do this to other people. Maybe make rumors about their vassals going behind their back, or send word that another ruler is planning to attack them. This would be especially effective against paranoid characters, of course, just driving them absolutely insane. But I can just imagine telling 2 rulers that the other one is planning an attack, rising tensions between them so you can benefit, although this should have a chance to go wrong, with them finding out the truth, giving you a general opinion debuff, and people will be less likely to believe you in the future, labeling you a liar. Next thing I'd like to see added was recommended by Battlefront and Siege clips, and it has some similarities with the first point, but it's all about having proper nobility inside your realm, and giving them the power and leverage to act in their own interests. As they say, I do not understand why Ruthenian nobles would accept a Czech king without serious compensation and promises. To me, I see this as being able to pay off nobles as a bribe, or promising them to capture a certain county, or even better, fund your cities. Failing to keep your promises should have some serious popular opinion effects, disastrous impacts on your economy, as they use their internal influence to remove you from power. Of course, to make things a little more fair, you could work on keeping them happy, giving some small bonuses like easier hooks on your vassals, as they can use their internal influence to help you get dirt on them if they do like you, of course, or bonuses to construction speed and cost, as they will be much more likely to help fund and manage construction if they do actually want to support you. And there's just so much more that could be added with a system like this, but I think it would be massive for flavour across the entire map, as well as some much needed difficulty. Now next up, we have something to help wars feel a lot more personal and interesting. This idea is based on the mods Better Battles and Battlefield Duel, which are both fantastic mods I've spoken about countless times on the channel before. Now these work by triggering events if you are commanding an army, as currently warfare can feel kind of lacking, especially if you are commanding an army and nothing happens other than numbers just slowly going down. I just think it would be a massive improvement if there was a chance for events to trigger while preparing a siege, or while going into a battle, giving you the option to flank, or maybe even the ability to flee with your personal guards from an impossible battle, leaving you seen as a coward to the world, but at least living to see another day. Of course, as with all CK decisions, these things can go terribly wrong, especially in a battle. Flanks can be caught, giving the enemy a larger battle advantage. But going even further, with more personal events where you could see one of your knights outnumbered fighting, giving you the option to try and rescue them, possibly making you a lifelong friend and getting a strong hook on them. Or If luck is not on your side, both of you getting slaughtered. And I think this would definitely make prowess much more important as well, as right now I rarely end up using my character's prowess, but with this and the possibility of dueling enemy commanders, enemy rulers and hostile knights to the death and earning a name for yourself on the battlefield, prowess would end up becoming a very important stat. More start dates, especially earlier starts. I just think the earlier the start date, the more chaos and just more options in general you have. 1066 is great, but a lot of the world feels kind of set in stone compared to 867 AD. Of course, the later start dates would also be cool, but it has just been a little while since CK3's release, and it gets kind of repetitive just playing the 2 current start dates. And that's why I use More Bookmarks Plus a lot, as it just has so many new dates. But my favourite by far is 769 AD. You get to witness the rise of Charlemagne with Saxony bordering them, which is still one of my favourite playthroughs I've ever done in CK3. Of course, mods that do have extra start dates are great, but it would also be cool to have some achievements also relating to these if Paradox does take the time to add these extra dates. But it would also be cool to have some achievements also relating to these if Paradox takes the time to actually add some extra dates. Last Today is not a specific feature, but definitely some changes around the effects of war that I would love to see. As currently going to war, losing thousands of your working age men by rushing them into battle has seemingly no negative effects. You just wait a few moments and suddenly your levies are full and nobody cares about all those dead bodies. I think raising levies should massively reduce any gold production and development growth from where the levies were raised from. As I said, most working age men will be leaving the towns in mass to go fight your battles. So I feel that levies should be a little bit slower to regenerate, and you take debuffs to your settlement depending on what percent of your levies are currently missing. So even a little while after a war, you're still suffering the effects of the war. And just going from one war right into the next won't really be a viable option until later in the game, when you have a specialized army of strong men-at-arms to lead you to victory. Like I said at the start, this is just some things I'd like to see added to the game. And I don't make these videos because I dislike CK3, actually the opposite. I think it's a great game, and I want nothing more than the game to keep improving over time. Also, sorry if my voice sounds funny, I think it's going, but if you did enjoy this video, consider checking out this video where I went through 5 other features I'd really love to see in Crusader Kings 3. And remember, drop a comment with any other suggestions you may have for a future video. But thank you all so much for watching, and of course, a massive thank you to Arcane, Intermio1, and Victor Voss Anderson.